waiting for Diana to join. First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the No Filter Coffee Fest for having us on this morning. Hey, Diana. And shout out to the wonderful Oatly for being here and for sponsoring the event. We couldn't do this without you. We use you here in the shop, and you guys joined us on some of our generosity trips that we did. So thank you guys for being wonderful, wonderful company. So
yeah,
I can hear you. So I'm in the shop right now, Diana. We got our shop open for takeout only. So we're gonna be in here. Kobe will be joining us, and just excited to be here. So thank you.
Oh, I love Kobe so much. I'm so excited to see his face. Not that I'm not excited to see
I'll
you.
leave.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for being a part of the No Filter Virtual Coffee Fest. And I'm really excited to give people an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about you and your business, because I think that the stuff that y'all are doing is really cool and really different from a lot of like more specialty style cafes that you're seeing around the country. And so why don't you just tell the humans that are here who you are and a little bit about Enderly.
Yeah, thank you. So we are Enderly Coffee Company. We are a Charlotte, North Carolina roaster on the west side of Uptown. We are in the heart of Enderly Park, which is our neighborhood that my wife Becky and I moved to back in 2007. This is a historically a low-income West Side neighborhood that we really just wanted to be a part of and just be great neighbors. And we were not into coffee in 2007. We were two CMS Charlotte Mecklenburg teachers, and we did that for 7 years. Phased out of teaching in 2014, around the time we started having multiple children in our house, and we couldn't afford to be teachers anymore. So we went into the prosperous world of coffee shops and coffee roasting. That's a joke, and that's sarcasm in case you didn't know. And sacrificed a ton to be here. But we now are a wholesale roaster, primarily selling to cafes, markets, offices, and apartments here in Charlotte. And we have a cafe that we opened summer of 2018, and it's been going really well. And it's, like I said, right in the heart of our neighborhood, and it's been a roller coaster, and we've been really enjoying it. So I'm Tony Santoro. I'm the owner, and we'll have Kobe Hines here in a second to come say hi, Kobe.
What's up, everybody?
Yay! Hi!
Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see your face.
You at home?
What?
You at home?
Yeah. As my Instagram handle says, I am working remotely and have been pretty much since day one. So the only thing that's changed really as far as my life has gone is like I can't like go to coffee shops and hang out with my friends, but I'm still at home, still doing the oat things. But actually I wanna go back to kind of what you were saying though about kind of the neighborhood that you're in and the community that you serve. But before we get to that, Kobe, why don't you do a little intro about yourself? Tell the people your name, how long you've worked in coffee, and just like maybe like about the side stuff that you do and the music things.
Okay. Well, if you didn't hear, I'm Kobe Hines. I always like to like root my hometown out, so I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, because nobody knows who that is. And I've been in coffee for maybe 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and been here at Enderly for a little over a year. Can I say 1 year and a half? Yeah, year and a half. And so, and I do like hip hop, neo soul on the side. And so that's been a joy. I wouldn't be able to do it much, or at the level that I'm at, and I've not been at Enderly. It's kind of where I've been able to meet most of my friends and kind of create somewhat of a community here. So.
Hell yeah. And I actually got to listen to some of your work recently, because didn't you just you put out some stuff into the interwebs in the last couple of weeks, if you want to plug that.
Yeah, I'll be doing a live on Friday, which is tomorrow, on my Facebook. So it's like my actual name is Kobe Hines. So if anybody wants to tune into that and like we can have some fun with that, it'd be cool to kind of see as many people tune into that as possible.
Yeah, I'm so excited. A little fun fact about to Kobe that is one of my favorite things. So, in addition to working for Oatly, I am the co-founder of the No Filter Coffee Festival, which was previously Pour. And Kobe was one of like, how long were you a barista when we did that throwdown?
2 days.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, wait. In my mind, you were fully a barista for like 2 weeks. I cannot believe that it was 2 days. Okay, so we usually do a latte art throwdown before Pour, or the No Filter Coffee Festival as it's known now, just like locally, just to get people excited, give baristas something to do, also an excuse to drink and party, because why not? And Kobe competed in the latte art competition on his third day of being a barista, which is bonkers because I was a barista for like a year before I competed. And even then I was like nervously vomiting the entire time. And you were like so cool and so calm and collected. It was incredible.
And the funny thing is, he wasn't even on the machine in our shop yet. He had pulled some shots and steamed some milk, but nothing customer front. So he just went up there.
I wanted to rep, man.
He represented us well.
God, what truly just so much inner strength to be able to do that. I'm so impressed.
Memory lane.
I know, truly. My cats are destroying things. Stop it. Hey, stop. Sorry, cats. Okay, so let's talk about Enderly Coffee. I want to talk about a little bit about your neighborhood and what you guys have been doing there, and kind of like the purpose behind why you like kind of became what you are now, and maybe a little bit about like your values and things like that.
Sure, yeah. So we, like I said, we moved here in 2007, and we found like a really tight little community on our block that we lived on. It was something that was unexpected. We kind of moved in with the idea of like, let's just be present where we are, connect with people. And we found not unexpected to find amazing people. We found some of the most amazing neighbors who just loved us well and just accepted us, even though we were very different from what the neighborhood was used to. And we just built some really strong relationships. So through the 7 years while we were teaching, we were seeing this trend in the neighborhood of lack of opportunity. A lot of people are either graduating high school or not graduating, but a lot of people not really going to do anything the same way that I saw it in my suburban Detroit neighborhood or school, where we all went off to Michigan State University and University of Michigan and did X, Y, and Z. I just saw a lot of people kind of staying around. So I thought, well, could we do something that like just creates some opportunity right here? Something that would, add its own value, but also create opportunity as another value. So as Enderly, what we from the beginning have always strived to do is just to create meaningful jobs, opportunities through relationships right here in our neighborhood. And it's a roller coaster. It's humans. It's messy, but we just try to be very present and transparent and honest about who we are and what we're trying to do. And that looks like different hires we've done versus how we engage with the people right here on Tuckasegee Road here in West Charlotte.
Can we talk a little bit about, maybe for those who don't live in Charlotte and aren't familiar with the part of town that you're in and like kind of maybe the history behind that neighborhood, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a lot of urban development has happened over the last 50 years here in Charlotte, where for many different reasons, white people, let's just say it, white people have been given opportunity to receive loans and upward mobility in parts of Charlotte that have become much more affluent, which then tore down the populations, generally minorities who lived there before. And this is the process of gentrification that you guys have probably heard in every major city right now. But as a result, over the last 50 plus years, is these populations of minorities have kind of been pushed here to the west side. And for the last 20 to 30 years, especially the west side has been kind of known as like dangerous and low income, and you don't go there, and this, that, and the other. And there's a lot of changes happening in Charlotte right now. Gentrification is a very kind of hot word right now, and I don't generally use that word, but just for the purpose of today's conversation, a lot of people are moving back to the west side, which again is displacing people, and it's inevitable. Like, it's something that is going to happen because power and money does have so much power in this world, and I do believe like it will trump the social good that people are trying to do. But I do think that in the micro networks that we have, we can really make a really positive impact right where we are. So our goal with a coffee shop in a, minority neighborhood, which to me feels like gentrification's definition, has been to be here before anyone else does, because I knew that it was coming, but to be the best neighbor that we can be. And it's been controversial. We've gotten flack for that from a lot of people and from a lot of different perspectives. But we're just trying to be us and to be authentically us. And how we engage people is just how we do it. And I believe that we do it differently than how other people might do it, just because of our history and the staff that we've had for the last number of years. And we're just trying to be us and to do it well. We're failing in many ways, I'm sure, but like I said, just trying to be us.
Well, yeah, and that's an important conversation to have too. Like, I think that a conversation we don't have a lot in specialty coffee circles. We talk a lot about equity for coffee producers. We talk a lot about quality of coffee. We talk about elevating the craft of specialty coffee. But we don't think about the ramifications of maybe how coffee shops play a role in displacing neighborhoods or leading gentrification, or maybe predominantly like white, very like specialty, high elevated craft cafe moves into a more low income neighborhood, doesn't hire anyone from that neighborhood, doesn't offer anything on their menu that would attract anyone from that neighborhood. And then a brewery moves in, and a nice restaurant moves in, and a bar moves in, and then suddenly the houses are worth $500,000 and no one can afford to live there anymore. And so
you just told the story. You just told the story of our neighborhood. Yeah.
It's everywhere. I live in Atlanta, which and I don't know how many people from the No Filter Coffee Fest know, but my husband and I moved to Atlanta in December, and that's very much the story here. It's very much a story everywhere. And I think as business owners and as specialty coffee professionals, I think it's important for us to remember the roles that we have in those systems and how to more mindfully move to being more accessible. And so what are some practices maybe that you have in your cafe, whether purposefully or just like it just happened that way? What are some things that maybe you would say that you guys have been doing at Enderly Coffee to kind of like offset that situation while still maintaining mindfulness of like not being like a white savior or like someone who's like coming in to like save people? I think this is an interesting thing to maybe unpack a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Well, it starts with saying hello. Every day I park across the street when I come in here, and I walk across and I see 3 or 4 people, and there are barriers, automatic barriers up when just when people see me, and just a friendly hello, how are you doing, goes a long way. I also welcome people to come on over and check us out. I offer first drinks on us if you want to come check us out. So that's some small stuff I do, but systematically what we do in here, we have a group of regulars that we know, they really love coming in here, getting their just like good dark roast of coffee. And so we do this thing called Neighbor Brew, and it's just $1 cup of coffee, tax included. And they come in, and we have some regulars that have been coming for 2 years now, who come many times a week and just get their solid cup of coffee. And it creates, credibility, but also strengthens the relationship with the neighborhood when they see Mr. Frank coming in, getting his cup of coffee. And he actually wears an Enderly Coffee hat around the neighborhood and goes out proudly. And so that's one of the little things we do. I do the same with some of the youth in the neighborhood. We do lemonade, really, really sweet lemonade made from country time. It's like the sweetest thing you could find, but we do it strategically. Go ahead.
Time. That's like, listen, yeah. I wish more places had country time. Quite frankly, I'm at the point now where I'm like, man, I wish more specialty cafes carried sweet tea. Like, I crave sweet tea, and I go in and they're like, sorry, we have this like really nice Darjeeling black tea, and I'm like I just want liquid sugar. Like,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we do the lemonade. It's a big 20-ounce cup with ice for $1 as well for the kids, especially in the summertime. They're riding their bikes around and they pop in here for their lemonade. Another big thing that I've been really big on is being very careful on how you handle the no loitering. There's right ways and wrong ways to engage human beings, and I've seen it done wrong so many times that I know to be a little more careful and have, authentic connections with people before you really can like get to the solution behind why the loitering has happened or what loitering is going on. So we've had a lot of interesting interactions with humans who loiter and ask people for money and this, that, and the other. And for me, it always comes back to like, they're human and they're people and they're trying to do what's comfortable and best for them. It might not be the way I would do it, but we got to come to a medium that like, you just can't do that here, and this is why. But we do want you to feel included here. So if there's anything we can do, we try our best to help them. I know the baristas, they've always been very generous with their tip money. I've seen it many times where they offer up, you need $1, take $1 from the tip jar, and I've seen that more often than I've ever done, just because I don't take the tips myself, so I don't offer their money. But it's a lot of little things like that. Kobe, am I missing anything that we do to engage well?
Yeah, and Kobe, I'd love to hear your perspective too about all of this as well.
Honestly, I think it's trying to keep it as simple as possible, with just knowing names.
Can you come closer? I want to hear you.
Oh, can y'all hear me now?
That's better.
We try really hard to just really know names, whether it's a homeless person that happens to be sleeping on our patio. I don't want to just like tap them and be like, hey, get up. Like, if I know their name, it's much easier to like ask them, hey, here's why we're doing this or doing that. All the way to the person that comes in every Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock. Like, we have a friend named Taylor. She allows us to call her Tay-Flo.
Tay-Flo.
And like, you know what I mean? Just simple things like that of just trying to make sure that we're not strangers, that they know us and that we know them. Even to the point where like we're hanging out, having bonfires on a Sunday afternoon, just like simple things like that, to where they are allowed into our lives. They are allowed not just into our coffee shop, but that experience that they have with us it's authentic. You're not just doing that because I want you to drink our coffee. Like, we're doing it just because like we want to know you, want to be friends with you. We want to like, I want you to be my homie. So
there's been a lot of times I've seen Kobe hanging out with customers outside that I've seen as customers, and then they're on his Instagram or whatever. I'm like, whoa, cool. Like, I love that that's happening. It's authentic.
Yeah, and I think like, when we get really focused on brewing science or like tasting notes and things like that, or like the newest equipment or whatever, it can get really easy to like lose sight of the people element of coffee and of a coffee shop. And I literally had tiny little tears in my eyes while Kobe was talking, which is why I had to look away at one point, because I was like, I'm not gonna cry on the live.
Let it go.
No. Never. I'm gonna save that for therapy next week. But yeah, any other things about like the human element, or kind of maybe stuff behind the coffee shop, or anything like that you want to talk about?
Since there's a lot of coffee professionals engaging right now, there's a podcast, the Cat and Cloud podcast. They're out in California, and their podcast is phenomenal overall. There's a ton of episodes. There's one episode that I always come back to, and it's a requirement for anyone who works here in the cafe to listen to, and it was Baca's 2017 SCA address, converting consumers to specialty coffee or something to that nature, but it starts with the word converting. And the idea is like understanding why people come into your shop. It's not for that beverage 100%. That's going to be a part of it, but people want to be seen, be valued, to be recognized. They want an emotional connection, and they just want a cup of coffee. It might be that medium roast Honduran coffee that doesn't have any blueberry notes in it, but they connected with Kobe, and they will be back every week because of that connection. And so if you are in the profession of coffee or any retail profession, I'd recommend you check out that podcast, Converting Consumers to Specialty Coffee. I listen to it every couple months just to refresh my brain, but it's all about the experience. The experience is more than just that beverage that you receive, and it's everything from the smells and the sounds when you walk in to the relationship that you can build with that person behind the counter. And then that beverage is just that icing on top.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that. So can you tell me about, you guys have been working at Enderly on some like really cool projects recently. In fact, I'm actually drinking one of your projects right now. So do you want to maybe tell the humans of the internet?
So, you know, COVID came, everyone knows that, and wholesale coffee roasters.
Wait, what is COVID?
You know, COVID-19, it came quickly and abruptly. Overnight, wholesale coffee roasters were hit really hard because many and majority of our consumers, our wholesale customers, shut down overnight, and so we had to pivot. And I could have either kind of closed down and said we're going to take it easy, or just try to find ways. So, first project we dove headfirst into was trying to create some joy and invite others to be generous with their resources to send some coffee to hospital professionals. So we did coffee drops, and we offered $25 purchases for people to sponsor a bag of coffee, a 2-pound bag of coffee, with a handwritten note that we wrote. And we loaded up these bags of coffee, put them in our van, and we did 4 different coffee drops where we just kind of pop up at one of the big hospitals in our region and set up a table at a shift change when there's nurses walking by and doctors and janitors and everybody at the hospital. And we would give away, you know, 100 to 150 pounds of coffee in about 15 minutes. And the emotion, the joy, and the bravery that we got to see on their faces was enough to keep doing it. So we did 4 of those. The last one we did, we had Oatly, thanks Diana, and Pure Intentions Coffee. They both joined us in that, where they gave cold brew product and Oatly cases for us to give away as well. And that was our most popular one yet. The nurses were just so thrilled to receive that. So we called those the coffee drop. They kind of fizzled out a couple weeks ago, so we kind of put a pause on that right at the time Teacher Appreciation Week hit. And so we ramped up and we did the same thing, where we know that parents are at home with their kids like I am. Homeschooling is hard. I used to be a teacher, but I cannot homeschool kids under 8 years old, And so we wanted to show appreciation, and we wanted to send coffee to our teachers, and we wanted to send a note from our child to our teacher. So we invited people to do the same thing, where they could sponsor a 2-pound bag of coffee with a handwritten note, and we threw in some mechanical pencils and some other generic stuff. And we had 239 orders come in for 2-pound bags of coffee that we shipped all over the country to teachers who received a bag of coffee, a handwritten note that says, you know, Miss Smith, I miss you. I'm reading Super Fudge right now, and I can't believe that Fudge ate the turtle, blah, blah, blah. And I read some of these notes, and it's just really, really cool to see these kids connecting with their teachers that way. So that was our second big thing. And then the last thing I want to shout out is Night Flyer Coffee here in Charlotte, Coffee Works, and Pure Intentions, and us. The 3 of us came together, and we created the Charlotte Coffee Box. And it's just simply a bag of each of our selected coffees that we put into a box, and we sold them as a community project to say, like, we're here still, we're in it together, we're here for you, support 3 small businesses at one time. And we just now are wrapping up our second week of it. We're gonna, like I said, take a pause, and then I'm gonna hint that possibly another one may come out in the future. So stay tuned to our Instagram, Pure Intentions, or Night Flyer, and we're putting some really interesting and unique coffees in these boxes. So I hope you guys stay tuned and join us on those.
Yeah, it's I'm drinking the what did you put in the box? Was it a Nicaragua?
We put Nicaragua from Gold Mountain. So
I'm drinking that right now. Hilariously, my pour over kettle last week, like on Friday, died.
Oh, no.
Like the week of this festival, and I was like, "Are you kidding?"
I hope you win it. I hope you win one.
Yeah. So I got my Fellow kettle in the mail today, which like shout out to Fellow for making a stag kettle that's like fantastic, and also like just the shipping was crazy fast. And so I was able to brew like my first real cup of coffee in this entire week today, and I'm just
you're back alive.
I'm
Welcome
so
back.
happy. You can see it in my eyes, like I'm like just like glowing.
Well, I'm glad you got that. That's a really special coffee too from Gold Mountain. And if roasters out there, if you've never worked with Ben at Gold Mountain, they do some really exceptional high quality stuff. So,
and their Instagram feed is incredible.
Yeah. Super educational.
Awesome behind the scenes stuff. When I was a barista, I would try to follow like all the different importers I could find so that I could try to get glimpses of life on a coffee farm and like what's production like, what is happening over there, because you really don't know unless you like really search for it. And Gold Mountain does a really great job of showing behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think now would be a good time for me to just like throw out the giveaway. So we've talked about Oatly a lot on this segment, not on purpose. It's just happened that way. I'm not paying them money to do that. But here we have 2 cartons, one of chocolate Oatly and one of barista edition Oatly. And you could win a 6-pack of one of these. All you have to do is text kittens to my Oatly cell phone number. That's 404-395-4541. Again, you're going to text kittens to 404-395-4541 for your chance to win a 6-pack of either chocolate Oatly or barista edition Oatly. I promise to never text you or call you or give away your number or literally do anything with this after this point. But if you do want to send me pictures of your cats and your dogs, that would be awesome because I love pets. But in the meantime, text kittens to 404-395-4541. Yeah, text me, and I'm gonna ask Tony to come up with a number between 1 and whatever the amount of text messages are, and then we're gonna figure out who gets to win a 6-pack of either Oatly Barista or chocolate Oatly, which like I'm just gonna say Oatly Barista for all accounts like makes a lot of sense during a coffee festival, but y'all, if you have not put chocolate Oatly into your coffee to make a like very just it's like not a mocha, but it's the poor man's mocha. It's the self-isolation mocha that you use making like instant coffee or your coffee. This stuff, I love it so much. Okay, so text messages are rolling in. We're gonna let them keep doing that. Tony, was there anything else that you wanted to add to this? You know, anything about Enderly or anything that you would like want the people watching to know, either from you or Kobe? Like, is there anything that y'all want, a message that you want to put out there from like coffee people to the world?
Sure, yeah. That's a big question.
Sorry, I know. I just like love that one at you. Didn't give you any time there.
No, I don't know. I like to put positivity out as much as I can. And it really, what I love about the coffee industry is how collaborative it can be. Shops, roasters, everyone kind of coming together. What really makes me sad, and I've seen and experienced this firsthand, is how, I don't know if defensive or whatnot, some coffee professionals can be. and how much of a turnoff that is, I think, to the world. Without naming anything specifically, but there are certain personalities that are very guarded and very protective, and they will not talk to you, and they're cutthroat. And I would just say, you know, we're all in this together, as cliche as that is. And I know that we're all competing in some ways, but we're all going to be better off if we all continue to edify and support each other. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to come out of the Charlotte Coffee box. I know Matt and Paul also felt the same sentiment. It doesn't have to be cutthroat. There's a Not Just Coffee 3 blocks down the road, and we're just awesome neighbors with them. And yes, it's our competition, but yes, it's also our neighbor, and we can build up kind of this area and the consumers in this area together. And yeah. I don't know, I rambled. Kobe, you want to add anything?
Great, that was beautiful. Kobe, how about you?
Honestly, I don't. I think you said it all. But yeah, I'm just really grateful for the community that we have experienced here since being here. Yeah.
Want to go on Instagram Live?
So,
Jacob?
Yeah, don't be selfish, man. I'm gonna go serve somebody.
Beautiful. Tony, how can people support Enderly Coffee during this time? Can they buy coffee online, swag online? What are things that people aren't in Charlotte, and maybe even people who are in Charlotte, what can they do?
Yeah, definitely. We're shipping nationwide. Coffee, you can buy shirts, hats, mugs, all the good stuff with any other roasters in America. But locally in Charlotte, we're doing this really cool thing called the Friday Porch Delivery. And every Friday since COVID has started, we are driving all around Charlotte and dropping off bags of coffee, boxes of donuts, pounds of honey, and whatever else people order through our little site. And we're doing that all around the county every single Friday. So if you go to our website, it's called Friday Delivery. It's free if you spend 20 bucks or more. And we'll drop off a 12-ounce bag and a box of donuts, or a 5-pound bag, or you could send it to your friends, your neighbors, your family, anyone who lives within the Mecklenburg area. And we're also doing a little Huntersville extension as well. So if anyone's up north in that area, we can go up there. But it's been really good for us revenue-wise. It's been phenomenal. It's been one of the things that's been saving us during this time of revenue drop. But it's also it's serving people. Driving around the county to get that coffee out has been really rewarding for us as well. And it's definitely something I'm considering keeping going once things start opening back up, because people have really come around it. We're doing anywhere from 60 to 100 doorstep drops a Friday, and it's really cool. So thank you anyone who's ever done a doorstep drop here in Charlotte. If you have not, we're coming out tomorrow. The order cutoff is 1 p.m. today. So if you want it tomorrow, go online today.
Wait, tell me about these donuts.
Yeah, they're coming from Pepperbox. So Pepperbox, Charlotte, vegan donuts.
Good.
Yes, they do 2 flavors. So you get 4 donuts, 2 and 2. And they bake them in the morning, and we have them all delivered by noon. So
I really miss Pepperbox donuts.
I'll drop some in the mail for you.
Very good donuts.
They started doing donut holes, Diana.
What?
Donut holes, like munchkins, but yeah, they got cinnamon sugar and powdered sugar.
Oh my God.
Shout out Pepperbox.
I've literally just been sitting on the couch and occasionally running. So donut holes are a very far distant thing for me now, but I'm just going to pretend that they're in my future. All right. Yeah. So I have a lot of text messages. Tony, why don't you pick a number 1 through 20?
It's got to be 6. That's my number. High school soccer jersey. It always has been my number. Interesting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I've got a 980 number. I will be texting you. You won. I just texted.
You got a 980 number? You got a 980 number? It wasn't Kobe.
But that's awesome. So, Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of the No Filter Virtual Coffee Fest. Those of y'all who maybe have just tuned in and like aren't familiar, No Filter Coffee Fest is like a totally free virtual online coffee festival. We've got another session coming up at 11 with Methodical Coffee, and then another one at noon with actually Paul, Night Flyer Roast Works, who Tony has been and so there's going to be stuff today, tomorrow, and on Saturday, all on Instagram Live. So please tune in. Obviously, thanks, Oatly, for giving me a job and also for sponsoring this festival. And thank you, Tony. Thank you to Kobe. I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you for doing this and being here and for being awesome and for being an excellent example of a coffee company that loves coffee but loves people more. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Thank you for always encouraging us.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, okay, Tony, before you leave.
Save it right here.
Yeah, when you end it, you're going to press the little save button so that we can have this in the future.
You know how to do this?
Yeah, it'll be like up there. It's so easy to lose. It's very hard to miss, but even if you miss it, I'll love you no matter what. And we'll continue to enjoy your coffee. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye. Let me get this saved. You sure you want to end your live?